The Scholastic Ball Report is sponsored by UK Sports Medicine and by Central Bank, Crown Trophy, Double Dogs, Ford Brothers Auction, Kentucky Orthodontics and Invisalign, Mingy Beef Jerky, Panel Swim Shop, Prep Spin, P-Rats, Rafferty's, Raising Cane's, Roberts Insurance, Sutherland Chevrolet, and by Whitaker Bank.
Hello, welcome into the Scholastic Ball Report as we look at high school sports for the next 30 minutes. Gary Ball. I'm with Mike Bowling, the outstanding coach out at East Jessamine High School in Nicholasville, Kentucky. He has one of the top rushing football teams in the state. Statistically, you are one of the top rushing teams in the state, Coach.
Yeah, we're leading 5A right now, and I think we're number 5 in the entire state, something we take a lot of pride in.
And these three guys you brought in, they're all a big reason that you lead the 5A
They're
in
good
rushing.
at football. Yeah, they make me look good, I'll say that.
And we're looking forward to talking to Coach and his outstanding running football team. And our features on Berea High School, Coach. You know Madison County down there at Southern Berea. They have been under a little bit of hard times. They went 0-43, but this coach, Aaron Stepp, he was involved in an accident. Man, he really has turned them around. They're 5-0.
Yeah, he's doing a great job down there. A lot to be proud of in that town right now.
And Berea is our feature. And our scholar athletes, they hail from Dunbar High School. They play volleyball out there. And these 4 young ladies, we asked for 2 or 3 of them. All 4 of these young ladies have above a 4.0.
That's very, very impressive. Very impressive.
That's what it's about.
That is what it's all about.
Academics
right
and getting it done in the classroom. We're looking forward to talking to those young ladies. And we got another Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week, Coach, as we head back down to Nicholasville for Sutherland Chevrolet. You're very familiar with those guys.
Very familiar. My hometown. There we go.
That's right, Sutherland Chevrolet. And Kim Buckholtz is here from UK Sports Medicine. She's going to keep us in the game as always. And our high school interns will help us interview most of these young kids that are on the show. Let's get to the best highlights in the state of Kentucky. And these highlights brought to you by Prep Spin, where next week you can vote on the game of the week, the Mingy Beef Jerky game of the week, on PrepSpin.com.
Yeah, we kick things off tonight with district rivals Douglas and Scott County. Both 5-0, ranked number 2 and 3 in Class 5A.
Get this, Douglas has played 30 games as a football program. They've only lost 4 of those games, and 3 of those 4 losses came to Scott County. The Cardinals ended the Broncos' perfect season in the playoffs last year, so this is always a big rivalry. Douglas had a 20-0 lead at the half. Broncos defense was on point tonight. Scott County going for it on 4th down. Cade McKee looking for Micah McClave. Batted away by Ty Bryant. They had the defense on lockdown. 4th quarter, after Douglas quarterback Josh McClurg left the game with an injury, the backup Cameron Dunn, he goes to work. He's got the speed and he beats the defender to the front of the end zone. 29-0 Broncos, and he wasn't finished. Watch Dunn stiff arm the defender to the ground and escaping down the sideline for another score. Douglas pitches its 5th shutout in 6 games this season. 36-0. It's the first time Scott County has been held scoreless since 2001. That's a streak of 230 consecutive games.
And the highlights roll on with a trip to Nicholasville.
That's right. 2 schools separated by just 4 miles. Always fun when they go head-to-head on the football field or the basketball court or whatever playing field it might be.
Lacrosse.
That's right. Tonight it was football. East Jess riding a 4-game win streak in its series with West Jessamine entering the rivalry game. Opening kickoff, second half, Tajee Jackson deep into Colt territory. Look at him go. Almost. Oh, hang on to the ball. Hang on to the ball. You got it. All right, that would set up Dylan Moore for the score. Jags up 35-12, taking the long way to the end zone. But
nice
he gets
rhyming there, Lee K.
Yeah, see what I did? I'm a poet. Didn't know it. Moore wasn't done. He punches this one in, untouched this time. 55-18. East Jess rolls to improve to 4-2.
Welcome back into our Team of the Week with Davis Brown, my intern, Gary Ball, and we're with Mike Boland and some of the East Jessamine Jags. And, Coach, your football team is off to a good start this year. You know, it's been a tough schedule for you, but that gets you ready for the playoffs that you're going to be facing in November.
Yeah, with the new RPI system, it doesn't really do you a lot of good to play a very weak schedule. You may feel better about yourself and run a good record up there, but we've played some really good teams, Franklin County, Paintsville. Lincoln County's got a good team. Dunbar's on the rise. So, you know, we've battled some really good football teams, and it's going to make us better when it counts.
Yep.
Coach, tell us who you brought in today.
We've got 3 of our star athletes at East Jessamine. This is Dylan Moore.
Yep.
He's a running back for us.
Know his dad, Matt. Good guy. Good guy. Yep.
Our quarterback is Turner McCollin.
Yes, know one of his relatives too.
And then our halfback is Valdon Miles. These 3 guys kind of lead our football team.
He's got the great name, Valdon.
Valdon,
It's like a superhero or something.
Right,
you know, one of those guys. Let's start with Dylan. Can we start with you, sir?
Sir.
Because you're a really multifaceted young man. You can catch the ball, run the ball. You know, you're a triple threat on the ground. You've got 3 guys who are averaging almost 300 yards a game. That's tops in 5A football. And you also keep a 4.0 in the class out there at East Jasmine. So congratulations for that.
Thank you, sir.
How would you sum up this Jaguar team if you could?
I would say that the biggest thing about us is that we're fast. I think we're a lot faster than a lot of the other teams that we're playing. We may lack like the bigger guys. We don't have, you know, all these 6'4" linemen and everything like that. But I think we definitely make up for that with all of our speed.
Mm-hmm.
So Turner, as the quarterback, you're considered a leader of the team. What do you feel is your all's biggest strengths as a team?
Well, like Dylan said, we have a lot of speed. We're not the biggest guys out there, but we're fast and we'll punch you back. But also, like, we just want it. We've been waiting for, you know, big opportunities since our 8th grade year. We've been talking about how we want to go and get the big game, you know, and just we really want it. We work hard every day in practice, in the weight room, whatever it is, cone drills before practice. And I mean, we've been doing it all off season, so we're ready to go.
You made a believer out of me the way you played Franklin County first game of the season. You guys are right in that game. Only lost by 7 points to one of the better, I think, highest ranked teams in the state of Kentucky.
So a bad call by me. I'll take the blame on that.
We won't talk about that one, Coach. And Valdon, you're coming off just a monster game last week. Was that your best game ever as a East Jasmine player?
No.
Yeah, correct me. Get me straightened out here, will you?
Like I said, you know, we got bigger fish to fry later on in the season. So I feel like, you know, if we get hot late throughout the rest of the season, that's when it's going to count.
Be a team to reckon with, won't you? Absolutely.
So guys, this was West Week at East.
Yes.
How does it feel to play against players that you've been with your whole life?
We anticipate it. As soon as the game ends the year before, we're anticipating it for the next year. So, I mean, there's lots of trash talking going on, and it hypes us up even more for the game.
Yeah.
So,
like, knowing these guys all your life, they're not scared to talk trash to you because they know you. So
you played them in youth football with them in youth football on the playgrounds, didn't you?
Not just against them, with them too.
And Coach, what's it like getting ready for that game, East and West? What's it like coaching for that game?
Like starting your car. I mean, it is time. You know, it just turns on. You don't have to do a lot. There's not a lot of yelling or complaining or getting after them. They're ready to go.
Well, you're a great young man, Coach. I can see why you have such a good football team. And you're one of the games we're considering next week on Prep Spin, and I think you got my vote.
Okay, appreciate it. We'd love to have you.
Don't want you to leave empty-handed, Coach. There's a Mingy beef jerky. I'm sure you'll share that with the players.
I'm sure. Waiting on the way home.
That's Mike Boland and the East Jessamine Jaguars, one of the best teams in 5A football. Now we're going to this feature on Berea High School. If you've ever seen a feature on the show, you want to see this one. This is a real inspirational story over in Berea, Kentucky.
It's very clear that Berea loves its high school football, but over the last 10 years, losing was the standard.
Well, I'll be honest with you. You're in the second quarter, you're down by like 40, you just want the game to be over with.
From 2014 to 2018, the Pirates lost 43 games in a row.
Like in our school, everybody sees us as laughing at us and think we couldn't do it.
So Berea made a change and hired former head coach Aaron Stepp.
You engage the daggone dummy and get him out of the waist, please. Run it again. The expectation is we're not going to sit here and be mediocre. We're not going to be content being somebody's doormat. We're not going to content being homecoming 10 times a year. That was just not an option.
In his first season of his second stint, the Pirates started 0-9.
Same concept, down, 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 2 around.
But won their final game to snap that streak.
Just trust the process. And, and that's hard to swallow when you've lost 43 in a row.
With a win under their belts, the Pirates couldn't wait for the 2019 season. But just a few months ago, on July the 12th, the thought of football was put on hold.
A couple degrees here, a couple degrees there, things change.
It was difficult, you know, because Melissa, his wife, had called me and said, you know, Aaron's been in a wreck.
I had multiple injuries, multiple fractures. I was telling my wife the other night, I said, I feel like I went from one day being a 47-year-old man to the next day after the accident being a 77-year-old man.
Rehab included, Aaron spent 17 days in the hospital.
Start to appreciate things a lot more, especially when you start to realize, you know, I'm still here and very well could not have been.
Once he left the hospital, Aaron returned home with a fresh perspective and refused to miss a practice or a game.
Here we go!
It's very inspiring. It just, all the stuff that he's going through, and he's still out here, even with the cane, he's just out here coaching us, wanting us to get better.
He doesn't want nobody feeling sorry for him, so we know what he would want. He wants to put the helmets back on and get right back into the game.
When this season began, Berea used that setback as a rallying point and is making history in the process. From 43 straight losses to 5 straight wins, the Pirates are off to their first 4-0 start in 11 years.
It's amazing. I've never felt this way before. Best feeling in the world.
A feeling that started with a mission to win.
Have fun.
This hasn't been a pleasant experience to me from a personal standpoint about being injured, but it's been a very rewarding experience from the fact that I've seen these kids grow. I've seen our kids embrace one another. I've seen our community embrace these kids and really step up and become a bigger family.
1, 2, 3, Pirates!
Welcome back to the Scholastic Ball Report. I'm Allison DeMoss here with Carson Purdy and players from the Dunbar volleyball team.
Eleanor, how do you manage a 4.7 GPA while playing varsity volleyball?
Well, it's definitely tough and it takes some long hours, but I mean, with the help of your coaches, your family, your teachers especially, it's definitely doable if you put the work into it.
Great. And Jane, how does your coach inspire you to become a better player?
She holds us accountable, pushes us on and off the court, and she cares about our life outside of volleyball.
Peyton, with a 4.2 GPA, you're successful in the classroom as well as on the volleyball court. What are your favorite parts about playing for Dunbar?
My favorite parts are definitely the atmosphere that we get to play in with the student section cheering us on. And everyone in Dunbar is like a family, from players to coaches and all the people who come and watch us play.
Olivia, you also have a 4.2 GPA, and you're also successful on the volleyball court. Do you have any teachers that motivate you a little bit extra in the classroom?
Mr. Howell is the athletic director at Dunbar, and I also got the chance to be in a classroom with him, and he's really good about pushing me inside the classroom to do my best, but also I know I can go to him to talk about sports or a game or if a practice went bad or anything, and that's really good and unique to having a teacher.
Yeah. Eleanor, Jane, what are your plans for after high school?
Oh, well, my plans are a little up in the air as to where to college I'm going, but I'm really excited and I'm excited about the future.
I plan on going to the University of Kentucky.
Peyton and Olivia, what are your academic pursuits and interests?
I definitely would love to continue into the sports field in the future, from management to entertainment.
And after high school, I'd like to study law, and I don't really know where yet, but I've got a few schools in mind.
All right, and here are your Scholar Athlete plaques, and you can take those down to Mike Tyson at Crown Trophies to get them personalized.
Thank you.
And back to the Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week.
It's time now for your Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week. Douglas hosting Scott County. Look at Dane Key. Thanks to Prep Spin for this video. Let's take a second look. Key one-handed mossed. Incredible grab for the Broncos, and it was an incredible night for Douglas as well. Pitching its 5th shutout in 6 games this season, Douglas 36-0 winners to stay unbeaten. And that's your Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week.
And back in on the UK Sports Medicine Orthopedic Surgery segment, Kim Buckholz is with us. Glad to have you on the show. And listen, I got to ask you, how do you get to Lexington by way of Vermont? Is there a trip ticket for that? Or?
Well,
I did my undergrad in Vermont and got my degree in athletic training. Really wanted to get my master's degree, and UK has an outstanding program for it.
Yeah,
so
one of the best.
One
yeah.
of the best.
Yeah.
So.
Kim, in general, what food should athletes eat before a game?
What you eat before a game will depend on lots of things, from your body type to the sport you're playing, even to how soon before your game that you're planning to eat. But generally speaking, you want to eat something that is high in carbohydrate, because that's what's going to be fueling your body for exercise. So you'll want to be eating like pasta, salad is good, deli sandwiches are great, yogurt and granola, something small, something relatively bland that your stomach can handle, and it's something normal for you.
So what restaurants should athletes go to when they're on the road and about to head on to a game?
My recommendation would be to find restaurants that have Italian foods, that would have pastas or breadsticks, even your build your own sandwich chains where you can get whole grain bread, some lean meat, veggies, something like that. And a lot of the popular fast food chains have healthy options, from salads to yogurt parfaits, fruit cups, something small like that.
Gotcha. What are some major foods to really avoid before a game?
Yeah, so you'll want to avoid foods that are high in fat, high in fiber, because these are very demanding on the digestive system and can sometimes upset your stomach. You'll also want to avoid foods that are high in protein. While protein is great for recovery and for after your exercise, eating that before your game can also put a large demand on your digestive system.
Good stuff, Kim. We really appreciate you joining us on the show.
Thank you for having
keeping
me.
us in the game there with good food information. Thank you very much. That's Kim Buchholz. She's with UK Sports Medicine, Orthopedic Surgery, our title sponsor on the show. Let's get to these highlights, these final highlight package brought to you by Prep Spin, where next week you can catch the Mingy Beef Jerky High School Football Game of the Week.
Boyle County and Highlands last met in the 2012 season opener. The Bluebirds won that game on their way to a 6th consecutive state championship.
Now, that's a record that still stands. The previous record was Boyle County's 5 straight state titles. 31 state championships between these two programs, 23 of those belonging to the Bluebirds. First quarter, Rebels strike first. Will McDaniel gets the handoff, punches it in. And here, there's a touchdown. More from Boyle County. Lanter, he's going to throw it deep, this time to West Virginia commit Reese Smith. He's good. Lanter becomes the Rebs' all-time leader in passing yards tonight. Congratulations. That would set up a second quarter field goal from Jackson Smith. Rebels making it a statement tonight. After last week, they get a win tonight, 30-0, your final.
Well, Lafayette opened last season with a win over Bryan Station and hasn't won a game since, and not a good start for the Generals here. Opening kick bounces to Trey Jenkins, and he goes 63 yards for the touchdown. And just like that, 11 seconds in, it's 7-zip defenders. Then later in the first, Amadeus Taylor. Kid's talented, takes it up the far sideline for 26 yards. Down inside the 5, Station would kick a field goal to lead 10-zip, but man, Lafayette rallies to win 21-13 to end its 15-game losing streak and extend its 5-streak win over Station to 5 in a row.
And welcome back as we wrap it up on the show for today. Lauren Spanier's with us, and thanks for hanging in there with us. All your other girls were on the Scholar, but you're a Scholar too. I know your GPA is really high because you won a Scholar Athlete last year.
Yes.
So talk to us about the Tates Creek match. You guys, I understand that was a phenomenal match you guys played the other night.
Yes, it definitely was. We lost the first set to them, which we all took like hard, but then we came back and we won the next 3 sets. And that's a really big game for us because they're our district rivals, and we always play them in the district championship. If we make it to regionals, we always see them in regionals. So we see a lot of Tates Creek.
Lauren, do you plan on pursuing volleyball after high school?
I hope to pursue volleyball, and I don't really know where yet. That's kind of up in the air at the moment.
How has playing at your high school, how do you think that'll affect you going into the future?
I think it's been really good. The atmosphere is incredible, so I think that that'll really help.
Well, thank you for being with us. And that's the show, as always, on the Scholastic Ball Report. For those you see and those you don't see.
Keep your eye on the Scholastic Ball Report.
The Scholastic Ball Report was sponsored by UK Sports Medicine and by Central Bank, Crown Trophy, Double Dogs, Ford Brothers Auction, Kentucky Orthodontics and Invisalign, Mingy Beef Jerky, Panel Swim Shop, Prep Spin, P-Rats, Rafferty's, Raising Cane's, Roberts Insurance, Sutherland Chevrolet, and by Whitaker Bank.